Good evening, everyone. We do have a couple open seats in the front area, so if you are standing, I think most of our students are here at this point, so please feel free to, if you're standing, go and find a spot in an open area here. So we'll get started in about a minute so those people can transition into an open seat. Okay, good evening. Boys and girls, DARE graduates, welcome to the DARE graduation tonight. If you can quiet your voices, I know you watched the video, which is pretty awesome, so thank you for going down to level 0 and being good audience for us. This may be the most people we've had at a DARE graduation since we've been doing this, so great attendance. Thank you all for being here tonight. Again, if you're standing, there are some open seats. Feel free to make your way to those areas if you're able to do so. So welcome everybody to DARE graduation. My name is Dave Geiger, principal at Luther Elementary School. It's an honor and a privilege to be here tonight celebrating our DARE graduates. Couple agenda items I'd like to go over with you tonight. I will turn this over to Officer Enger, our DARE instructor, in just about a minute. He will then be saying some remarks in introducing our keynote speaker tonight, Pat Miller, who is retired men's basketball coach at UW-Whitewater, and he's also helped coach our high school basketball team here in Fort Atkinson over the last 2 years. And then we will have a presentation by Lieutenant Leonard and her husband and special guest Moose Tracks. And then Officer Engler will return to the stage to talk about the DARE essay contest winners. And then the program concludes tonight with some fun treats for the kids in the Commons area. Before we do begin, I would like to say thanks to our high school staff for hosting us and all the support they've given us in using the auditorium today. Also like to say thank you to all of our teachers and all of our schools just for being supportive of the program and working with Officer Enger and being flexible in scheduling. Sometimes duty calls and he can't make it to a scheduled lesson because he's out patrolling and something came up. So we have to reschedule and deal with those lessons at a later time. So we appreciate the flexibility. Also to our DARE graduates, thanks for being respectful and open to learning about new things from our police officers in town. They're often in our schools walking around for safety and doing check-ins and things like that. So they're just there to keep us safe and build connections with all of you as well. Officer Enger, thank you. It's a privilege to have him in our schools. He's a positive role model for our kids and just a great joy to have around and having a good time and giving knuckles and high fives to the kids and trying to learn most of their names. I know that can be a challenge. But anyway, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. At this time, how about a round of applause as Officer Enger makes his way to the stage.
You're absolutely right. This is the biggest crowd we've ever had here. Amazing. Thank you guys for all coming. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Brian Enger. I've been a police officer with the Fort Atkinson Police Department for 20 years. This is my 6th year teaching DARE. By far the funnest year. So all you kids are great. I'd like to thank you all for coming and showing your support for the DARE program and the commitment each of these students have shown. Thank you, Principal Geiger. For all your help this year. Fort Atkinson's lucky to have such a dedicated principal and school district helping me every year get this up and running and presenting me every year. Appreciate it. Thank you to all the other principals and each of the 5th grade teachers. Without each of you, this would not be possible. You are all here to support the future of this community, and I appreciate all of you. I would also like to thank our guest speaker, Pat Miller, Lieutenant Leonard, and her husband, Jay, and their canine partner, Moose Tracks, for being here. Katie Fry, Chris Scherer, the Fort Atkinson High School custodial staff for helping set all this up, for doing the PowerPoint, assisting with all of that. And my police chief, Chief Bump, for allowing me to teach DARE and to continue with this program. DARE is not a budgeted program for our city. It runs entirely and funded entirely on donations and fundraisers. I have to honor some of those. For example, Opportunities Incorporated print shop, they donated all the graduation certificates that all the fifth graders are going to get today. Festival Foods provides the wonderful cookies and the water that you'll see on the table that all the graduates get afterwards. Rock River Lanes, they allow us to do a DARE bowling fundraiser each year. They also donate other things for the DARE essay winners, along with Culver's, McDonald's, Jimmy John's, Papa Brunks, Papa Murphy's, Burger King, Patty Shack, Subway, Dunkin' Donuts, Frosty Freeze, amongst others. Griffin Ford, you guys saw the DARE Bronco outside. It's a different vehicle every year. They donate a vehicle to the Fort Atkinson Police Department DARE program, specifically for the DARE season. You'll see that parked around town, thanking the various businesses that kind of help support DARE throughout the year. Jesus Arts in Lake Mills, they put all the graphics on it, and then 1033 Vehicle Services puts red and blue lights on it, so emergency lights for me to drive it around. Some of the other numerous businesses that allow this program to continue with the monetary donation to cover the cost of t-shirts, books, pencils, and other fun prizes that the kids get every year. They're implemental with actually making this program run. I'm going to name them off in no particular order, but they give a very significant monetary donation. Salamone's, Kiwanis Club of Fort Atkinson, Cloud Incorporated, Krieger Jeweler, Dunkelberger Plumbing, Badger Bank, Jones Dairy Farm, Steindorf Plumbing, Epic Real Estate Group and Property Management, 10 Pin Motors, Space Saver, Blodgett Garden Center, Fort Community Credit Union, Incipient Phase Barbecue, Badger Basement Systems, The Fireside, and then there were two other families I would like to specifically thank this year for giving donations, the Banashinsky and Ganser family. Thank you very much. Without these donations and fundraisers, DARE would not be possible in Fort Atkinson. For those of you who aren't aware, DARE stands for Drug Abuse Resistance Education. Each year, the Fort Atkinson Police Department partners with the Fort Atkinson Public Schools and each of the 3 parochial schools and the local businesses to sponsor and run DARE. Each week for the last 12 weeks, I was in each and every one of the 10 classrooms that I taught through all these schools. We discussed many topics, some of which were facts and health effects of tobacco and alcohol use, peer pressure, decision making, confident communication, resistance strategies, and friendships. We did more than just talk, though. We did many different role-playing exercises and activities to practice safe and responsible decision-making. We tried to mentally prepare for situations each of them will inevitably face in the future. You guys see these gift bags up here. One of the assignments that the graduates had to perform to graduate from DARE was to complete a DARE essay. It's designed to allow each student to write about what they took from DARE, and I actually challenged a lot of the kids to write about what impacted them the most and why. These guys amazed me with their essays. It was incredibly difficult to pick just one winner from every class. There were so many that are so deserving. You guys did a great job. Later on in the program, we'll honor the DARE essay winners. I believe DARE is an extremely important part of 5th grade. Besides giving these kids the tools and self-confidence to resist drugs, violence, and peer pressure, it allows me as a police officer to actually interact with the kids, show them what type of person I am. As you guys could probably see when you guys were coming in, I get hugs from them. These guys are amazing. They surprise me every day, and I love to see them starting in 5th grade. And actually, all you kids have seen me like from kindergarten up, giving me high fives in the hallway and whatnot. I want to see you guys, your bright minds, succeed and do well in the future. So if I can help you guys be a part of that by teaching you some safe and responsible decision-making tools, I love it. To all the parents here tonight, thank you for coming to show your support. All these students are really, really good kids right now. We as adults, parents, and role models need to do what's possible to keep them on the right track. Sometimes kids can fall in with the wrong crowd. Sometimes they can make poor decisions. It's kind of difficult for you guys to turn yourselves around if you start doing that. So it's on us to teach you guys the right decision-making, to give you the right decision-making tools to stay on that right track and be successful in your life. To each of you students, the fifth graders, most of you guys are going to middle school next year or sixth grade at your respective schools. You guys are getting older and new challenges and opportunities are going to emerge. It's very important to choose your friends wisely. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future, right? If your friends are making good choices, you guys are too. Each of you guys have proven to me that you guys know the difference between right and wrong. It's hard to make the right choice sometimes. Dare yourself to do that, okay? Once again, thanks for coming. Right now, I would like to turn this over to our first guest speakers, my lieutenant, Vanessa Leonard, and her husband, Jay Leonard, and they're gonna have a little talk about their canine partner, Moose Tracks. Give them a round of applause.
Hello, everybody. Congratulations. I'm so glad to see that the house is full tonight. I want to say thank you to Brian for inviting us to speak in front of all of you. We are very proud of Brian and what he does with the DARE program. It's pretty impressive, as you can see from the turnout tonight. So the reason that Jay and I are here today is we're just going to introduce you to Canine Moose Tracks. That's his full name. I'm Lieutenant Vanessa Leonard. I'm with the Fort Atkinson Police Department. I'm the second shift supervisor on patrol. I actually worked for Jefferson County Sheriff prior to this. I've been in law enforcement for a total of 28 years. My husband, Jay Leonard, he has been in law enforcement for over 30 plus years. He retired from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, and he currently works part-time for the Village of Johnson Creek Police Department. So Jay and I actually run a police officer support team. It's a team set up to help first responders when they suffer from traumatic events. Sometimes they suffer from anxiety or depression based on the types of calls that they handle. We started the team in 2019, and it started with just Jay and I as two members on a team, and we now have members from almost every police department within Jefferson County. So Moose is, as you can see, a service dog, and he's pretty lazy if you can't tell. He does this all the time. He does like getting applauded, though. So he's a service dog in training. I told you guys. He's a service dog in training. He's actually only 10 and a half months old, which this is pretty amazing for a puppy. Most puppies are pretty hyper and they would be running around this place. He was donated to us by a breeder in Osseo, Wisconsin called Blueberry Cottage Labradoodles. She donated him to our peer support team for the purpose of helping first responders. Moose got his name from Facebook, actually, so we weren't sure if we were getting a boy or a girl, so we picked 3 girl names and 3 boy names, and Moose won the vote on Facebook. He's been learning how to comfort people. So what that means is he can actually, when he gets fully trained, he will be able to detect mental health disorders and medical conditions. So he will be able to help people when they're suffering from anxiety, depression, PTSD, and things like that. He is an excellent advocate for victims. He goes to the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office to sit with victims when they have to go to trials. He also visits nursing homes, assisted living homes, hospice care centers, and schools. So I'm sure, who has had Moose in their school here? So if your principals want to have Moose visit your school, you can contact Jay or I. Or Moose. We'll get to that. Because Moose is very popular. We're actually not popular. He is. So you can see Moose at Fort Atkinson Police Department. He comes to work with me on a daily basis. He does not ride on patrol right now, but he does hang out in the station. He provides peer support to the officers that are working and dispatch. He actually loves going in dispatch. And sometimes he actually puts his paws on the window to greet people when they come in. He also hangs out with Jay at the Johnson Creek Police Department, and I'm also the chief of police for the town of Oakland, so he does go with me there, and he hangs out there. So if you're interested, how many of y'all have cell phones? Okay, now I'm gonna rely on you guys. You gotta like Moose's page on Facebook. Have your parents like his page. It's under K9 Moose Tracks. We're at 880 followers right now. I want to see him get to 1,000. I'm begging you. I want him to get to 1,000. So, Jay and I are going to be here throughout the presentation. We're excited to see all of the graduates come up and the winners of the essays. Brian told me that those essays were extraordinary, and he had a very difficult time choosing the winners. And I am very proud of him for doing all of this work for all of you. I think drugs and alcohol affect a lot of people in a lot of different ways. I also have my own experiences. So Jay and I are hoping we can get a selfie with all of you. If you could all stand up and give me a heart. All right, just wait, I'm gonna get there. Thanks, you guys, and good job.
Thanks, Vanessa and Moose. Next, we're going to have a good friend of mine, Pat Miller, come up and give you guys some very inspirational words of wisdom, some pretty high standards for him. For those that you don't know Pat, one of the many accolades that he has, previously head coach UW Whitewater men's basketball for 20 years, having won 2 collegiate national championships, member of the UW Whitewater Athletic Hall of Fame and Wisconsin Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame. Very impressive resume. You will not be disappointed with his message. Also, like Moose, if you give him a round of applause, he will stand up and come up here. So give it up to Pat.
Thanks, Brian. It's always tough to follow the K9 units, so I will do my best to live up to that. I'm Homo sapien Pat Miller, not part of the K9 Brigade. What I want to talk to you about today is, as I thought about addressing you, I entitled this 5 Things I Wish I Knew in 5th Grade and 1 Thing I Did Know. All right, clearly I'm not in 5th grade. It may surprise you to know that it's been a long time since I've been in 5th grade. But as adults, as we go through life, we learn things and we reflect. And whether you're 20, 30, 40, you always say, you know, there's some things I wish I would have done differently. So what I'm going to try to do is give you some things for you to think about that might help your path. The first one is don't be afraid to try and do new things. So often kids may have an interest in something, but they don't want to be embarrassed. Something may make them nervous, so they shy away from it. One of my great passions in life is playing golf, which I never played growing up. To make a long story short, when I was at Whitewater, they made me become the women's golf coach, and made is the actual term. So I figured, well, I'm going to give this a shot. I went out, half the balls I hit went way left, the other half went way right, and I remember thinking, this is not going to be good, because I was not good, but over years of practice and trying, I became much better. That's something I never would have done on my own. When I was in middle school, we had a series of classes called mini courses in the middle of the year, and our teachers would come and teach their interests. So 2 of the things I got out of that were learning about World War II and generating an interest in history, learning how to tie fishing flies and fly fishing. Again, things I never would have done. So I would highly encourage you, seek out new things, and don't be afraid and don't be nervous. Everybody is nervous. Nothing comes easy to most people. Number 2, one of the things I learned is failure is not only inevitable, but it's necessary. Throughout the course of your lives, you will have small failures, you will have bigger failures, and you will have colossal failures. Everybody does. What will ultimately define you and lead your trajectory is, what do you do with failure? Do you quit? Do you make excuses? Do you blame other people? Or do you say, this is my responsibility in this. This wasn't the best decision. How do I move forward and be better? So the point here is, you are going to fail. Thomas Edison. Okay, what did Thomas Edison do? What's he famous for? Light bulb, right? So he has a quote. He said, I have not failed 10,000 times. I have simply found 10,000 ways that don't work. In my area, Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of the basketball of all time. He has missed 9,000 shots in his career. He is the best three-point shooter of all time, and he misses 6 out of every 10 he takes. So remember, failure is inevitable. How you react, it's what's important. Third thing is, whether I'm coaching basketball, teaching golf, people always want to know, what's the quick fix? What's the magic secret? Whether it's exercise, fitness, and the answer is, the magic secret is, there is no magic secret. Things do not happen overnight, they happen over time. So when I was coaching, what we would always talk about is process. And we would tell our players, you become what you do on a daily basis. Okay, you also become what you don't do. If you don't exercise, if you don't study, if you're not engaged. So what I would encourage you highly is, have a great process. Use your time wisely. And every day, try to get a little bit better. It doesn't matter where you start. We all have different starting points. What matters is, what is your trajectory? Where are you going to be in a week, a month, a year? And if you do that, what you'll find out over the course of the time, you're going to make great strides. Number 4, and I think this one is really important, and it's been addressed somewhat, is the importance of having gratitude and believing in a giving culture. So when Officer Enger talked about all these businesses, What's important for you to understand is those aren't just businesses, those are people. And they're people taking their hard-earned money and giving it to you so you can have better opportunities. You are really fortunate to live in this community. There is so much support for music, for arts, for athletics, programs like this that are designed to help you and give you a better trajectory. So please take care, be appreciative of that and take advantage of it. When you take your shirt off, look at the back. Look at how many people care about you and want you to do well. And your culture of giving can start now. What do you do for a friend? You don't need money. You can give time. You can help out a friend. It might be something simple, clearing the snow off an elderly neighbor's driveway, cutting the grass, taking someone's dog for a walk. There's a lot of things you can do to impact people's lives in a positive way that just requires a little time and a little effort. So I would really encourage you to appreciate what you have and focus on that. Number 5 is when I was growing up, I would always think people in high positions, you see famous people doing great things, that there was something different about them. And what I've learned through my friends who are doing great things, to just being around people that are highly successful, they're no different than you in any way, shape, or form. In fact, one of the things I'm interested, it's called success literature. And it talks about why are different people successful. And one of the things that is clear is it's not always the smartest people that are successful. It's the people who are the most persistent. They don't give up, they keep trying. It's the people who are the most disciplined. They do things the right way over and over again. It's resiliency. It's having a vision and a plan, and understand that success comes from many different walks of life. Some of the people I went to school with, this is not name dropping, they were like everybody else. One of them is the president of a professional sports organization. One of them was Speaker of the U.S. Senate. One of them is a 4-star general. And when we were in school, they were like everybody else. But they did the right things, they made good decisions, they worked hard, and they're always able to have success. Now, the one thing I did know growing up, and I'm thankful for this, is I understood I needed to surround myself with the right people. And I did that, and I'll tell you, as I was going into middle school, the friend group that I had started going off on what Officer Enger refers to as the wrong path. And I was having none of that. I was serious about sports. I didn't want to get in trouble. I was generally afraid of my parents, so I didn't take that path. And I'm telling you, it was 2 of the hardest, most difficult years I've had, because I got a lot of flack, because I didn't do what everybody else did. And what eventually happened is I made new friends that had better priorities and were great to be around, and some of the friends that went down the wrong path realized it and came back. But sometimes making the good decisions and the best decisions are not the easy decisions. And if they were, everyone would do it. The things that you will get gratitude or you will get satisfaction from out of life are the difficult things, where you put in time and you put in effort. As Officer Enger said, "Show me your friends and I'll show you your future," is an accurate statement. Surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with like-minded people who have goals, objectives, and want to do well. So in summary, be brave enough to explore new things and find your passion. Learn from mistakes and come back stronger, better. Embrace the day-to-day process of improvement. Be thankful for what you have, and become part of a culture of giving. And lastly, know you can achieve whatever it is you want if you pursue it with passion and you pursue it with persistence. Congratulations on your DARE graduation. I think this is a great program, and I'm excited to see all the award winners. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Amazing, as always. Fifth graders, did you guys like hear a lot of what we talked about in DARE, right? Being a good citizen, right? Making safe and responsible decisions, right? Having that confidence. That's why he does such a great job. We're going to get ready and we're going to do some DARE graduation certificates. And we are going to start right over here with Rockwell. And since it's your first time doing this, what we're going to do is we're going to call you up, and the students, I'm going to have you line up all the way on that side, and then come on this side, and then if you want, parents, come down to the aisles and you can take a picture with the class. We're going to do that really quick, briefly, but then we're going to start with the next class and get this moving through, okay? So, what's that? No, you get, who's saying that? Hey kiddos, just get in semi-alphabetical order and we'll call your names up, okay? All right?
All right. Leo. Leilani. Harper. Hawthorne. Jace. Chase. Aaliyah. Dakota. Rachel. Joey. Kyron. Mackenzie. Scarlett. Kira. Brianna. Maisie. Peyton. Emma. Amelia. Adeline. Nora. Savannah. Brielle. And Evelyn.
All right, from St. Paul's, we have Lucy. Good job, Lucy. Just go line up. We have JD. We have Jocelyn. Good job, Jocelyn. We have Connor. Everly. Ethan. We have Ivan. We have Bo. And last but not least, we have Alpha.
Good evening. I'm Carrie Holm, principal of St. Joe's, and this is Mr. Larson, our fifth grade teacher, and these are our graduates. Beckett, Ben, Ezra, Rollin, Wyatt, Niana, Piper, Matthew, Lewis, Mabel, Gabby, Bentley, Jacob, and Marshall. Nice job.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, this is Mrs. Krause's class at Luther. We have Jair, Josie, Kylie, Bane, Joel, Claire, Ava, Zoe, Ariana, Houston, Laran, Braden, Yair, Adriana, Katie, Delaney, and Braxton.
Okay, you're gonna go that way, guys. You're gonna go that way.
And next we have Mrs. Tamblin's class from Luther Elementary School.
Omar, Zayden, Briley, Wesley, Aoife, Amir Gael, Wyatt, Lily, Nora, Aubrey, Jaden, Cadence, Quinn, London, Lucas, Luca, Hayden, Dante, Raven, Sophia S., Sophia V., Trudy, Roman, and Juan.
Here are our Barry Broncos and Mrs. Rackup's class. We have Jack Barr, Jameson Bernard, sorry, Addie B, Riley, Yoskar, Charlie, Aiden G, Lainey, Maddie, Mason, Addie L, Naomi, Dusty, Neil, Landon, Addie S, Lily, and Emma. Congratulations.
Okay, we have April. Brianna. Taylor. Oliver. Melania. Thomas. Xander. Elise. Finley. Hayden. Bennett. Gage. Hadley. Dallas. Aiden M. Bella. Aiden P. Raven. Megan. Lucas.
Congratulations, Lucas. This is yours, bud.
Brooklyn. And Ellie.
Congratulations, girl. This is yours. These are your extra ones.
Thank you.
Give that check.
Hey, get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there. No peeking. No peeking. Off peeking in here.
Thank you.
And the Crown of Life Knights, we have Jolie Brom. Noah Denoyer. Faye Daniels.
Hey, stay right here.
AJ Engelhart. Gracie Flack. Bree Jorgensen. Wesley Coots. Eleanor Lucas. Margaret Lucas. Oliver Patterman. Bella Riley. Harper Ragnaby. Henry Schreiber. Emmett Schradel. Evie Spears. Ellie Strang. Brady Venus. Julia Welter. Ben Weekman. And Kamaya Zulsdorf.
One of you guys help Ben.
Elena, Andy, Owen, Greta, Clinton, Connor, Dylan, Violet, Seamus, Skip Dominic, Bea, Parker, Chloe, Henry, Brooklyn, Angel, Jack, Heridian, Serenity, Tenley, Charlotte, Carson, and Elliot. We just leave these ones up here.
Yeah, you can. Yep. Unless you want to take them with you.
No.
If you don't.
Yeah, we do. I'm good. How are you? All right, we have Ryan. Colton. Giovanna. Iris. Hugo. Kendall. Charlotte. Dalton. Sophia. Hunter. Gael. Shelby. Alana. Parker. Beteem. Dylan. Adler. Micah. Brace. Jalen. Zelina. Yep. Tommy. Elliot. And JJ.
Let's give one last round of applause to all the graduates. Congratulations, guys. I think this is part of the program that most of you fifth graders have been waiting for. Who won the DARE essay? Okay. So this started a couple years ago where I started challenging, and some of the teachers actually took it to heart and started challenging some of their students with getting really creative with the DARE essay. And there were some amazing essays this year that I just could not resist with actually creating a new award, which I believe I'm going to move forward with in the future. This student's essay was absolutely one of the best, and I have to give her an award. This wasn't something that I had planned on doing beforehand, but after reading her essay, I actually created an award for her. So we might have to make it the annual Tenley Stewart Most Creative Award. If you could come up on stage, please. Give her a round of applause. That was absolutely amazing, okay? I'm going to have you stand right over here, though, okay? Okay. I think we're going to do drum rolls for the rest of them. We're going to go to Mrs. Reckab's class. Little drum roll. Emma Weiser. Emma, come up on stage. Congratulations, Emma. Good job. Well done. Let's do another drum roll for Mr. Grauman's class at St. Paul's. Lucy Bernhagen. Good job, Lucy. Congratulations, well done. Good job. Drum roll for Mrs. Hinehos's class at Rockwell. Harper Dorfman. Amazing job, congratulations. I'll just stand down here, okay? Drum roll for Mrs. Cron's class at Purdy. Giovanna Caella. Congrats, Giovanna.
Thank you.
Drum roll for St. Joseph's School, Mr. Larson's class. Piper Eilenfeld. Congratulations, Piper. Well done. From Mrs. Tamblin's class at Luther, Sophia Stafford. Can I have you start a lineup? Appreciate it. Thank you. From Crown of Life Christian Academy, Mrs. Brown's class, Brady Venus.
Thank you. Thank
From Mrs. Cairo's class at Barry, drum roll, Taylor Bauman. Amazing job. Good
Thank
job.
you.
Amazing. From Mrs. Krause's class at Luther, Braxton Vince.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Right here, bud. So I told the kids there's going to be one overall winner, and there's one class left that I haven't said yet. This is coming from Mrs. Telfer's class at Purdy. The 5th grade overall winner and class winner, Greta Dunham. Okay. Can I have you guys come and meet in the center? Can I have you guys come over here? Your 5th grade Dare Essay winners. Give them a round of applause. Hey, Greta. Thank you, guys. If you guys want to have a seat, congratulations again. Go ahead, have a seat, guys. Go ahead, have a seat, guys. Go back to your class.
Sure.
You wanna hold it, or you want
I'll
it in
hold
here?
it.
Okay. Greta, every year at the DARE graduation, the DARE essay winner has a choice of reading the essay themselves or having someone do it for them. Greta has opted to read it herself. So if you guys could give her your utmost attention. What to do about stress and bullies. This is her essay.
Imagine you are having a hard time balancing all of your schoolwork and your hobbies. You have way too much to do and you start getting stressed. What would you do? I had this experience, and luckily, our class had already learned about how to deal with situations like these in DARE. Officer Anger taught us how to solve this problem by using the DARE decision-making model. I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have all the knowledge I learned from DARE. DARE is important to our modern world because kids that go through DARE learn to make better decisions, which helps them as they get older. You may think that DARE only teaches kids about how to say no to drugs and alcohol, but it also does so much more. Our DARE teacher, Officer Anger, taught us about effective communication, how to respond to stress and peer pressure, reporting bullying, and many other important life skills. All of these skills help kids as they get older, in school and in the real world. I'm a very anxious person. I often stress out over little things and overthink them, which can lead me to making a bad decision or lashing out at my family. DARE taught me how to confidently communicate this and how to solve the problem. Officer Anger taught us to use the DARE decision-making model to solve problems. We also learned how to communicate effectively by looking at the person while talking in a calm voice, and not being too forceful. This has helped me communicate better. The DARE decision-making model is really helpful so that you don't always need to rely on an adult to solve your problems. Yes, it's helpful to have an adult sometimes, but I feel like DARE has given me more independence to solve these issues. When I was stressed with too much work to do, it helped me to talk it through with my mom. I think I handled this pretty well, though I do believe I can still get better at it. DARE taught me the knowledge of how to solve problems, and even though I may still need to grow on that skill, DARE gave me a place to start, and I may not have had that chance if our community didn't have the wonderful DARE program. Honestly, our world isn't perfect. It isn't even close, and one big reason is because of bullies. We learned about how to deal with bullies in DARE. Bullying is a huge problem. About 13 million kids are bullied each year in the U.S. 1 in 3 kids are cyberbullied, and 1 in 4 kids are physically/emotionally bullied. An upstander is someone who sees bullying and steps in to help the person being bullied. On the other hand, a bystander is someone who sees bullying and doesn't step in to help. It's always hard to stand up to someone, but if you're in a group, it can have a domino effect. If you stand up to a bully, others will often follow. It takes a lot of courage to be that first person. So how do you do it? When you see bullying happening, you have a few choices. First, you could tell a trusted adult. If you're at school, a great person to tell is a teacher or the principal. Secondly, you could just watch the bullying happen and be a bystander, thinking that someone else will help. Finally, you could be an upstander and stand up to the bully. For some people, the better choice is to tell an adult, while others might prefer to take action. It's totally all right if you don't want to get involved, so you tell an adult instead of standing up to the bully. The best way to deal with cyberbullying is to block and report the person if the site has that option, and to tell an adult you trust. Telling an adult about this isn't tattling or being a snitch, because it's a dangerous situation where someone could get hurt. Tattling is telling an adult about a small problem that you could easily solve yourself, and tattling is often done to get someone in trouble. In conclusion, DARE is vital to our community because it teaches kids many skills, including how to deal with stress, how to deal with bullies, how to be a good citizen, and many other skills that we will need throughout life. As you can see, DARE is really important to kids because it teaches us things we might not have learned otherwise. Plus, it's fun. DARE taught me how to deal with stress and what to do if you see bullying. I promise to never use drugs unless prescribed by a doctor, and to always say no to alcohol, drugs, and anything else that can hurt my body. Thanks so much to my DARE teacher, Officer Anger. He taught our whole class about so many important things, and he was always there for us if we had questions. Thank you, Officer Anger, for so many amazing DARE classes. I always looked forward to them because of you. I'm so grateful for all you do for this community. After reading this essay, I hope you also pledge to be drug-free, and I hope you learn all we learned about DARE and DARE. Also, try to be an upstander, not a bystander, if you ever see bullying. Bullying is a big problem in our world, and the more people who work to stop it, the better. Always remember to be safe and responsible. DARE rocks!
Amazing job, Greta. One more round of applause for her. Fifth graders, congratulations. Job well done. This is going to conclude our DARE graduation ceremony. When we exit, I am going to have the students exit first, and then the parents follow. The cookies and the water are for the graduates out there. There should be enough for all of you students, okay? But as we close out every DARE class for 11 weeks in a row, we've been practicing for this moment. Fifth graders, you remember? 3. Go. A plus 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 plus. Job well done. Congratulations, guys.